This is Tech Pulse, a show that keeps you in step with the technological world and one step ahead of everybody else. I'm your host, Harvey Reginald Smith II. Let's start the show. Everybody out there, another day. Well, actually, it's Friday. Here we are on Tech Pulse, a show that keeps you in step with the technological world and at the same time keeping you one step ahead of your family and friends. So when you have that next conversation with them about tech, you'll know what's going on and they'll be asking you the questions because you're like, yo, man, I know everything that's happening in the tech world. So far, yesterday, it was a busy day for us here at Pulse E-Media. We was down at the Broward County Chamber of Commerce, their convention, a big convention that they have. They had us down there to stream the event live, and so we were there. So we didn't get to do a Tech Pulse show. We were getting prepared for that, but we're back live, and there's a couple of companies out there that we really stopped, took a look at. We did a number of interviews, so if any of you want to see, matter of fact, we recorded the whole show. So if any of you want to see what happens at the Broward County Chamber of Commerce, we have it up on our site, MyOccasionsLive.com. Just go in the on-demand section and look for Broward County. Broward County. What's it called again?
BCCC.
But I renamed it. Yeah, I renamed it to Broward because people may not know what.
Yeah, you're right.
So Chamber of Commerce. So just go there, Broward County Chamber of Commerce. You'll see that name right there. Click on it and you'll see we did interviews. We had an on-the-spot reporter. We have to give a big shout out to our lady Patty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Patty
she rocked. Oh yeah, she rocked.
Good
man.
stuff. Good stuff.
Knew exactly what she was doing. I mean, this is what it's all about here at Pulse E-Media. So anyone that wants to check out what we did, it's up on our site, MyOccasionsLive.com. That's occasions with one S, MyOccasionsLive.com, and you will see it right there in the on-demand section. And a couple of companies really stood out, and we're going to give them mention during the broadcast here on Tech Pulse because we like to help businesses just like ours, get off the ground, get going. We know that it's not always easy for a small business to get going, but we're gonna mention some of those right here on our show here at Tech Pulse. So let's get started with some of the top news that's happened this week. I mean, this week has been chock full of a lot of tech news. For a lot of you, Google has always been in the news. It's a big company. They're doing a lot of things, and I don't know if a lot of you out there, Devin, I don't know if you know about Google's I can say latest project, latest venture known as Google Fiber. Now, for those of you that don't know what Google Fiber is, this was a project to build an experimental broadband internet network infrastructure using fiber optic communication. So it's experimental right now. They're using fiber optic communication. They started out in Kansas City.
That's what I was talking about. Do you remember a few weeks ago I was asking you about some project with fiber, about internet, whatever?
That Google was working on.
I didn't remember it was Google actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I couldn't pick up with you, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, Google Fiber, that's the new thing. They started out in Kansas City, and it's Google's, they're trying to build a gigabit broadband internet service, you see, and so on March 30th, 2011, Google announced that Kansas City would be the first community that they was going to deploy the network to test it. This after building the infrastructure in July, because they started in March to let people know. In July they were finished, and they announced the pricing for Google Fiber at that time. The service had three options. The first one, the three include free broadband internet option. That's 1 gigabit per second internet option for $70 a month. And other version also includes television service. They was offering television service for $120. So you would get the $70 1 gigabyte internet service plus $50 for cable service. And then they had an internet service which also includes 1 terabyte Google Drive service, their online cloud service, and the television service, which includes a 2 GB terabyte DVR. So Google had all these three packages. The first one was just the gigabyte internet for $70. The next one would include TV for $120, and then you had another package that would include a terabyte of their clouds space service, and then one that would include a 2 TB DVR recorder. Now, I mean, 2 TB, that's crazy. I don't know what you would be recording, but they offered it. This is what Google Fiber was about. So now that you know a little history, it's gigabyte internet, which I mean is going to make things much faster. Much faster downloads, much faster uploads. So Google is trying this out to see if it's something that's viable, and they got good responses from Kansas City, and there were rumors going around that Austin, Texas was going to be the next recipient of Google Fiber, and so that was one of the big rumors going around, and it was being tossed around to see why would Austin, Texas be a good fit for Google Fiber, and matter of fact, as this thing rolls out, it's going to come to different towns, and it might be in your town, and a lot of people are saying that the biggest problem they have with Google Fiber is simply that they can't get it, because it's just, Google doesn't have it rolled out everywhere, because the project they're planning for Kansas City is going to cost Google $11 billion to create that infrastructure. Not Kansas City, sorry, for Texas. For Austin, Texas, it's going to cost Google $11 billion because there's infrastructure there already. So they have to go around different infrastructure. They have to make it available to all the homes, all the buildings, and stuff like that. There's no fiber optic network available there right now.
I was going to ask you if there's anything there that they can piggyback on.
Nothing there that they can, or that they're allowed to. They're going to create their own.
Are they going to lease to others, or are they just going to make it their own?
They're just going to make it available to you in terms of here's a package.
Yeah. Well, what I meant was that suppose some other company wants to use the fiber optics too.
Right. I mean? Well, right now they just have it for residential use. Right now that's just their focus. They're trying to get this gigabyte service to just customers as far as residential, not really commercial.
Right.
Right now, but I'm sure Google is in the business of making money, so I'm sure they're not going to object. If a large enough company wants to use their service, they're not going to object to that. But their focus is for the residential market. What do you think Google Fiber is going to bring? Because most people are saying, you know what? The problem with Google Fiber is just we can't get it. That's the problem. The problem isn't that it doesn't work or who cares or this. They're saying, man, $70 for gigabyte internet? When you have to deal with such low bandwidths now, and you can't, things just don't look the way you want. And Google is the first to bring this really kind of affordably, to the public, because they're not the first to try this service. But before we get into that particular aspect of it, what do you think gigabyte internet, Devin, can bring to just regular folk? Do you think this is something we need? Is something with all the technology going towards 4K and faster downloads, faster speeds anyway? Do you think this is something that Google is really onto? Are they revolutionary in their approach?
Yeah, definitely. But if I understand it properly or correctly, it's one thing to deliver that to a location, but they'll be able to use that in their mobile service also. Mm-hmm. Because there's this new technology that allows, I think they're using it in the cities mostly, that they put up these transmitters. They're very inexpensive.
Right.
And that's what they're using now to actually increase or reduce the drop zones.
Right.
And that's what they use in subways and stuff like that. There are these, I don't know if you call them reflectors, whatever.
Right, but they help to keep the signal.
Yeah.
There's less dead spots.
There are less dead spots, and they actually speed up the service. and that's what I think the 4G is depending on. So the delivery of mobile service could improve if Google actually uses the
Google Fiber.
Yeah, the fiber.
The fiber network. Yeah.
That could be an interesting coupling. You know what I mean?
And I think these are things where Google. I think they don't want to say it yet, but that's
where they're heading.
That's where they're headed. You know.
Yeah, but definitely we here would love that. We're there already.
We're there for $70 a month.
Yeah.
You know, for gigabyte internet. I mean, come on, that
would be awesome.
That's a dream right there. And they're saying that they're going to by 2014. Yeah. That's when they plan to have the infrastructure in place. You know, along with nearly 200 HD channels ready to go. You see, so this isn't just going to be for computer geeks. The regular person can go out and afford it. And for those that love cable TV and whatnot, I mean, you can get, I mean, because right now the HD channels are pretty sparse. They have a few, but, and not just HD, but remember we said that the HD stream has to be compressed so much that, it's HD, but if you watch a Blu-ray movie, the quality is just much better than watching HD on TV because, the bandwidth caps that cable companies put, which, they don't have to, but they put, bandwidth caps. And the download streams are just not that good. I mean, it's HD as far as it's higher definition than what you get. But compared to...
It's not true.
It's not true HD, no. So the regular person wouldn't really know that. But I mean, next time, if anyone out there has, a lot of people have Blu-ray players now, watch a Blu-ray movie and then watch HD on your television. You can easily tell the difference between the quality and just the detail that you see. But with gigabyte internet now, that would allow Blu-ray quality download streams. You see? So, I mean, this is something good. Now, for those of you that want a little bit more information, let's hear what Kevin Lowe, one of the general managers of Google, of the Google Fiber division at Google, let's hear what he has to say about Google Fiber rolling out. We got a video clip here for those of you at home. We got that sound, Devin? I know you're always on top of things with the sound. So we're about to show the masses because, I mean, this is an exciting thing. Right now, a lot of us are dealing with, different megabyte downloads and we're like, oh, yeah. And the cable company keeps telling you that for X amount, you can get a faster internet speed, but they're not coming close to gigabyte internet. You see what I'm saying? And this is what makes what Google is doing so important. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. Let's listen to it and see what Kevin Lowe is talking about. Because this is an exciting thing.
The devices kids bring that they have in their backpacks and in their pockets are faster than what I'm giving them in class. I mean,
sounds good. Okay.
To put it in their words, then that's lame.
Data speed is like oxygen, right? Oxygen you take for granted until it disappears. And then it becomes like everything, right?
Processor speed, power consumption, networking that we deploy within a data center. It has gotten just incredibly faster by an order of magnitude every few years.
I mean, I think this is a good thing.
What? Sucky. I don't know if you can say sucky on camera, but anyways, like very sucky.
Imagine speeds 100 times faster than what we have today.
The communications network is the thing that's falling behind in the speed of innovation. What we're trying to do with this effort is to take people from a megabit web to the gigabit web.
In Kansas City, we've been amazed to see how gigabit connectivity has really been able to bring people together. We think it's even more awesome if you can get multiple communities in multiple cities. And that's why we're so excited to be here in Austin, Texas.
When I heard Google Fiber was coming to Austin, I thought, well, of course.
So we've got people here from everywhere. We're a creative hub.
It's young, it's vibrant, it's hip, it's up and coming.
The barbecue is pretty good. No, I'm just joking. The barbecue is awesome.
When the startup community hears about Google Fiber coming to Austin, there may be celebrations in the streets.
We have seen so much innovation and entrepreneurship. We have no doubt that Austin will know exactly what to do with the gig.
We could talk to scientists, we could talk to mathematicians, we could take people who are out there in the field and bring them into our classroom.
Start TV channels.
The healthcare provider in one place and the patient in a different place.
But I think what it is like a huge bet on human creativity.
This represents the opportunity for Austin to become the epicenter of a gigabit web world.
I don't think probably any Austinite can tell you right now what Google Fiber will mean to Austin a year from now. And that's really the cool part, because in Austin, we're ready to experiment with
wrapping it up here.
We're ready to see what it will do.
Coming down to the end.
And I promise you, it's going to be fun by the end.
All right, so there you go. You know, this is what we have coming to us. You know, and you know, according to Devin, he says he's sold. I mean, think about it. You know, you have that kind of internet service, the entertainment possibilities and the things that they can do, you know, with it are really going to be. It's going to be next generation. It's going to be next generation. So, you know, for those of us that you know, obviously want a faster internet, want a better experience, you know, as far as cable TV goes, as far as just streaming our content, you know, being able to stream our content online or from online or whatever. I mean, these things are really this Google gigabyte internet service is really something that's going to be a game changer, and that's why they started rolling it out, you know, in such a small market. They started in Kansas City, and now the next stop, they did a couple other cities, and the next stop now is going to be Austin, Texas. So for those of you who haven't heard about it, understand Google Fiber is something, and we're talking, you know, ultra fast internet connections. You know, I mean, you know, and not just, you know, what the cable company says, but it's still, you know, you don't really see too much difference. This is something that's gonna you know, enhance. Now, according to the experts, you know, this rollout is really an expensive undertaking, you know, and a gamble for Google. That's what they're saying, because the pipelines that can handle gigabyte speeds, you know, are costly to build. You know, I mean, it's not a cheap thing to just go out, and that's why we told you $11 billion is the budget that Google has going into Austin, Texas. And Google's vice president, I think his name is Milo Medin or something like that, Google's vice president of access servers, and he's the one who heads up Google Fiber. He said equipping people with a gigabyte network will allow them to build new kinds of applications and services that will help write the next chapter in the story of the internet. You know, because up until now, the internet has been, you know, I mean, relatively, I wouldn't say slow, but I mean, it hasn't been as responsive as, you know, a lot of us, because a lot of us are like light switch people. You know, we click the lights, it comes on. We don't realize that there's still a delay between when you click the switch and when the light actually comes on. It's very minute. You don't realize it because it is so minute. Your eyes can't pick it up, but it is not instantaneous, because it does take time for the electric current to flow from the light switch, which completes the circuit, and to your bulb, you know what I'm saying, to go through the bulb. It does take a bit of time. When I say a bit of time, I don't mean amount of time to where you can see it, but it's not instantaneous, you see. But we're used to that sort of thing, you see. So it's going to be good to see where these people, you know, where the gigabyte internet helps, you know, a lot of people and so forth. And as you know, I ran through the plans already with the $70 a month, you know, cable TV and stuff like that. So even though some channels are going to remain for right now unavailable on fiber, like HBO, AMC, but companies like Nickelodeon, Fox News, MTV, ESPN, you know, all of those companies are going to be part of the Google Fiber network. So this is not just going to be something that, you know, comes here today and then, you know, it's gone tomorrow. And like I said, gigabyte internet is not necessarily new. There was one exception where a city-owned electric company in Chattanooga, Tennessee, had its own fiber service, but it sold it for $350 per month, just to give you some perspective. You see what I'm saying? Just to give you some perspective. And also, Verizon Communications a while ago, and it's only major U.S. Is the only major U.S. telecommunications company to have connected homes directly using fiber. However, a lot of Wall Street analysts said that it cost them about $23 billion to implement that. And I guarantee you, a lot of you don't know that Verizon Communication had a fiber or gigabyte network, which is why it's not really paying off for them. So a lot of people are saying that that this might be a costly move for Google, because companies have tried it and it hasn't really worked. They didn't really have the ability to bring it to the masses in the way that would be cost effective enough. I mean, $350 a month, nobody's going to pay that, no matter how fast the internet is. So Google is doing something revolutionary here by not only coming out with gigabyte internet, but bringing it at an affordable price and bundling it with something that people actually, you're taking two services and putting together, internet and TV, which is not revolutionary in itself. But I'm saying, if you're going to come out with a new product, something that people might be iffy on, and you bundle it with the two things that people use the most, which is digital media as far as television, and then internet service, you can't lose. So Kansas City was a success. Let's see if Austin, Texas is a success, in this gigabyte internet world that we're talking about. So that's going to be a very interesting thing that hopefully, as time goes on, that many of us here, and especially here at Pulse E-Media, we can, and on Tech Pulse, we can, debut this thing, when it comes to our town here. Hopefully, maybe we'll be the next candidates for the gigabyte internet, and if we are, we'll definitely let everybody know if this thing is as good as people say. Because I'm telling you, if this thing is as good and it works the way it seems to have worked in Kansas and what it's expected to do in Austin, Texas, and I don't think Google is going to be investing $11 billion into something that they don't feel is going to work. So it's going to be interesting, and we're definitely going to watch it here on Tech Pulse and keep everybody up to date as to what's going on in the Google Fiber world. And speaking of Google Fiber, and speaking of higher download speeds and whatnot, Sony unveiled, because many of you know Sony is one of the big proponents of 4K media and 4K technology, and I don't know if this is good news, funny news. I don't know exactly how you would categorize it, but Sony introduced this week, they announced their $699 FMP X1 4K media player and distribution service. Now, the $699 FMP X1, which is what they're calling it, 4K media player, it's a disc hockey puck shape, and I'll show you a picture here in a minute. It's a hockey puck shaped device, and 4K TVs have been kind of going down in price. I guess not yet affordable for the mainstream people like you and I, regular people, but they have gone down in price. And their FMP X1 4K media player and 4K video distribution service, the plans were both revealed first at CES. However, the official press release included provides the full details that it will be a $699. The player will be $699, and it will come preloaded with 10. Get this, 10 4K films and shorts when it ships this summer. It's coming out this summer. So for anyone who's itching to go out and buy a 4K TV, but you were saying to yourself, man, there's no content, because we said right here on Tech Pulse, there's no content for 4K. So even if you went out and bought a 4K set today, you're not going to see the benefits of it, because there is no 4K streaming. You see, there is no 4K streaming on the internet, and cable companies certainly are not giving you 4K content. They can barely give you true 1080p content, Blu-ray quality. They can't even give you that. So no way, nowhere near 4K they're going to be able to do, So, but the 10 films that they're coming out with this summer that will launch. They said that not only are you going to get that, it's starting in the fall. The video service will launch, because remember, it's a 4K media player and video distribution service. So the service is coming out in the fall, obviously with a fee to Sony, but you will have access to Sony's library of movies. Now, let me run down some of the movies that you're going to be expecting to see, and that is, you're going to get Spider-Man, Ghostbusters, some of its Angels and Demons, I think, is one of the ones that's in play as well for this 4K media player. And a lot of you know that 4K is much higher definition than standard 1080p, and 4K incidentally is known as ultra. It's known as ultra high definition. For those of you that don't know, it's known as ultra high because, you know, for a long time they've been saying 1080p is the highest high definition you can get, which obviously is not true, because they're now coming out with a 4K, which is higher definition than high definition, which they have now termed ultra high definition. So it's like mega high definition. So going down into some of those movies, they could say that it's, I mean, and it's kind of a weird assortment of movies, because you have Bad Teacher, you have Battle Los Angeles. I don't know if anybody remembers that. You know, The Bridge on the River, Salt with Angelina Jolie. You got The Karate Kid, Taxi Driver, That's My Boy, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Other Guys, and 2012's Total Recall for anybody who enjoyed that film. So those are the movies you can expect in that bundle. You know, and they say that Sony will also offer owners of its 84-inch XBR TV the chance to exchange their home servers for the FMP X1 player. So, you know, this is something that Sony is planning on rolling out, you know, but if you're looking for consistent 4K lineup, now this is the caveat. Because Sony is coming out with all these movies, if you're looking for the consistent, like, okay, they're just gonna roll out more and more 4K, early adopters, yeah, you're gonna be, see, I'm an early adopter, so I like to get things right as they hit the store shelves. But people like us, they're gonna be out of luck, because you know, even though they're gonna release the industry's first 4K video distribution service, Sony notes that the FMP X1 owners will have to wait until the fall for the paid content, and how much that paid service is going to be, Sony didn't say. So 4K content, think about it. How much does it cost to buy a Blu-ray movie right now? $35, sometimes $40, depending on, you know, the bundle they come out with. So if that's what Blu-ray is, I can only imagine what 4K is going to be. You know what I'm saying? So don't get your hopes up too much. You know, or if you're someone like me, I'll get the 4K and I'll just watch those movies for 5 years until the thing, you know, comes on into an affordable situation. But Devin, do you think? I mean, with 4K TVs still hitting, you know, the bigger ones hitting 25,000 still, you can get some cheaper 4Ks for like 6,000, 8,000. This 4K media player that they're coming out with, that they term the FMP X1. I mean, I don't know why they're calling it that, but that's what it is. You know, for $699. Do you think this is something? I mean, is Sony? Are they going to be able to? Let me just ask this: are they going to be able to replicate the same kind of success with 4K that they did with Blu-ray, or is this just too much? And as everyone can see, this is a picture of how the FMP FMP X1 is going to look. This is $699 right here, and it comes with those 4K, those 10 4K movies with 4K release of digital content coming in the fall. No price yet announced. What do you think, Devin? Is this something? Because now we see, before we kept talking about it, you know, whatnot, but Sony has made a bold announcement this week and saying that this is coming this summer. So you can head to Best Buy this summer, not only pick yourself up a 4K set for 25 G's, but for an extra $699, and if you could afford a 4K set, this should be nothing for you. For an extra $699, you get that FMP X1 4K player, the only one to exist for the consumer market. Well, I mean, you're shaking your head over there. I mean, are you in line at Best Buy?
No. Why? Oh, why would I need a 4K player? Only you could tell me that.
Because you will see your pictures in such high definition that it looks 3D. You know,
No.
I mean, what you're watching right now, you don't realize how fuzzy it really
And
is.
I'm so happy. I'm not a party pooper, really. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Really, I'm so happy with my 520p, whatever it is, television.
520p. But I mean, this is something that's going to be possible once gigabyte internet gets rolling. So, do you think that it's really just the price of it that makes it just not feasible? If this was something that was regularly priced and so forth, then it would be like, well, if you want it, go ahead and get it.
Yeah, of course.
But
when you go to the supermarket, you choose whatever you want, not because the prices are within your scale. You think, I won't get banana today, so the price isn't an issue. It's what you feel like.
Right.
When you talk about items like these, you eliminate certain things from your shopping cart list because it's just out of your scale and you don't even think about it anymore. When you go into the supermarket and you don't buy caviar because you just can't afford caviar. So you don't go, I miss caviar. I just need some caviar. No, you just go, I don't want caviar. I don't ever need caviar.
I don't care.
I don't care. And if they say $50 off 1 pound of caviar, you go, really?
Off of what?
Off what? No, it's not really.
It's not really worth it, you would say.
Not for me. I mean, yeah, from a technical point of view, maybe we'll get something here in Tech Pulse because we want to evaluate stuff. But on a personal level, no, not happening.
Just forget about it.
Forget about it.
I hear you. But this is Sony. And Sony has done this with Blu-ray. And Blu-ray, to be honest with you, was not as successful as DVDs. DVDs took the market by storm when they came out, and they just replaced 100% VHS. I mean, you went to Blockbuster when Blockbuster was around. They had their VHS section. DVDs started out small, but after a while, you couldn't find any VHS in Blockbuster. It was either DVD or you didn't rent anything. Blu-ray hasn't really taken that foothold on the market. People know about Blu-ray, but sometimes when I used to rent Blu-rays from Blockbuster, they used to tell me, you know this is a Blu-ray, right? And I'm like, how long Blu-ray been out? What do you mean if I know it's a Blu-ray? Of course I know.
Let me ask you this. Why do they cost so much more?
Because they can fit more information into it. Because of just the process of making it high definition and being able to fit that much information into it, they feel is worth the price of... now, is it worth the price of more money? The amount that they charge you for it? I would say no. But that's the reason why it's more. So you're asking why is it more? Because they can fit more information on the disc. The disc is much higher quality than Blu-ray. But the process to do that has come down. It's not as expensive as it was. So the discs don't need to be the prices that they are. But that's why they charge
just
more.
Crooks. That's what it is.
Because the process has come down. It's not like when Blu-rays, because you bring up a good point, because when Blu-rays first came out, they were the same price, $40, and that's when Sony was losing money on it. Now the process is cheaper. The process is much cheaper to create Blu-rays, but the price of the Blu-rays hasn't changed. It hasn't come down to an affordable,
As a matter of fact, we all can buy a Blu-ray writer.
Right,
It's
a burner.
available.
Right.
Yeah. So,
And even that right there shows you that the cost has come down for burning Blu-ray. So it's just a matter of having a monopoly, on the industry, and no one really, because most people are not going to burn their own Blu-rays. Matter of fact, Blu-ray writers are not popular like DVD and CD writers were. So, you're not going to get a population going out and trying to burn this and that. And most TVs today, if you notice, Most TVs today don't have outputs on them anymore. So that eliminates your options for being able to burn movies from your TV and whatnot. You have to connect it. You have to connect your cable box, the output from your cable box, through your burner if you want to actually burn movies anymore now, because the newer TVs today don't have outputs on them. You know, they have inputs, but no outputs, you see? And that's a key in stopping people from being able to burn these high definition players. So that's something that we're going to talk about, I'm sure, in the future. Now, our next story is in the same lane as we talking about with 4K and digital content and stuff like that, you know. And what we're talking about is Boxy. Boxy TV. For those of you that don't know, there's a company that, well, they used to be called Boxy TV. Now they've just changed themselves to be called Boxy, and they are a company that started out. Let me see if I can explain this properly, so I give you the correct idea, because I don't want to give you the wrong idea about who Boxy is. Boxy. Let me think for a minute. They're a company that, for all intensive purposes, they become a cloud DVR service. They let you stream broadcast TV channels to any device, you know, and gives you unlimited recording space, obviously for a fee, you know, not free, recording space in the cloud. That means you can record as much as you like, as much as you want, and you can watch it on any screen. So for those of you that have Slingbox, so you heard about Slingbox, which allows you to watch your TV anywhere, but via the internet. You know, then you hook on through the internet and you can watch your whatever's on your cable. You hook your cable up through Slingbox, and then via the internet you can watch whatever you would watch at home while you're away. Boxy TV or Boxy, they allow you to stream broadcast TV to any device. So wherever you are, you can stream and you can record. Now, why is this such a story? Well, it's a story because they came out with some kind of a service, which I think is kind of laughable, because, you know, it's like they're trying to offer something, but at the same time they don't want to offer it. You know, so it's kind of like someone saying, "Hey, here's a sandwich, but I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat. I just need to eat it first, you know. But I offered it to you." They're offering free, limited cloud DVR service, a tier alongside their rebranding, because they were Boxy TV. Now, here's what it is. You know, you can buy the device for $99 outright. Well, that's what you have to buy it for. But they say that they're giving you a free. Their free service includes 5 hours per month of DVR recording with a 90-day expiration date. So in other words, their free service, you buy the box for $99, and their free service is going to include, so when you get this device, you're going to be able to stream cable television wherever you are, whatever device you want it on, right? And you're going to be able to record it. Now, their free service, so you just buy the device, sign up, you get their free service, which includes 5 hours per month of DVR recording, which expires in 90 days, right? Now, right away, I'm saying 5 hours a month, you might as well don't give me anything. You know, that's like going into a store and saying, you know, something costs you $1,000, and they say, we're going to give you a $5 coupon. And what's that going to do for me? I'm still paying $995. So you really, I mean, you take it because it's like, well, you know, it's not going to hurt me to take it. But at the same time, you don't feel like, oh man, these people gave me something. 5 hours of DVR recording a month for free? No, that's nothing. And then it expires in 90 days. And if you want to start getting the paid service so you can keep your content, it starts at $9.99 a month. Now, I don't know how much hours or gigabytes of storage they're going to give you, but Devin, when you hear an offer like this, is this something so that people can just get in? I mean, or is this a laughable offer to say, I mean, do they might as well just go with the paid service and forget about saying they're giving you something free by giving you 5 hours a month of download? Or is that something that, well, we're going to get some people with this offer?
Yeah, that's like saying, I'm going to shoot you, but not in 5 minutes. Give you 5 more minutes to live. Shoot me in 5. Shoot me now. What's the 5 minutes going to do?
What's the 5 minutes going to do that?
Help me, like, you just give me more time to think about it.
Think about your demise.
Yeah, about what's going to happen. No, it's not. That
I mean, is this something that's worth it? I mean, in terms of, it's free. So a lot of people are going to say, well, it's free. But, I mean, is this a service that, I mean, should they just say, okay, you know what, $9.99 a month, you get your content. I mean, they're giving you free 5 hours, but it expires even. So, and 5 hours a month. I mean, you know, do you think that even makes sense?
So here's how it works, right? Explain to me. So you have a Boxy TV.
It's called Boxy. That's the name of the company.
Right.
Boxy. B-O-X-E-E.
Attach it to what?
You attach it to your cable television, your cable device, or whatever, and it will allow you to record and stream. So you're home right now, but you want to watch TV, but someone calls you, Devin, I need you to be over. Oh man, but my show is on. You know what I'm saying? When you get over to the person's house, you know you're going to have a little bit of time, so you want to be able to watch it, but maybe they don't have your same cable service or whatnot. You can log on via the internet of the Boxy device, and you can continue to watch whatever you are watching at home on your phone, tablet, whatever device you have. You can do that. Their free service allows you to record 5 hours a month of content. You know what I'm saying? And
so only, okay. I mean, to be honest with you, basically what they're saying by that offer is that since we're giving you the service of watching anywhere,
right,
the chances of you needing a lot of content recorded is much lower, because you probably have DVR at home anyway.
Right.
So why would you need it to be recorded so you could watch somewhere else?
Right.
You know, you record it so you could watch it back at home. And so the amount that you miss to watch at home on the DVR or whatever, then, you know, so the 5 hours, you know, when you put it in context, is not bad. Because I'm not going to have necessarily 5 hours of stuff that I need to watch on the road.
Right.
Because within 8 hours, I'm probably back home anyway.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
So the 5 hours is not, you're saying it's not really terrible,
It's
but
not terrible.
a month.
Yeah, it's not that great.
It's not that great.
The $5 off would be bad.
Off of 1,000.
Yeah, but
well,
it's not that bad.
So you know, and some people feel the way you feel. That they feel that, you know, this 5 hours, 5 hours a month, you know, depending on how much you watch TV, is not really that bad.
Yeah, because the idea behind Boxy is to be able to watch somewhere else.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It doesn't preclude you or exclude the possibility of having your DVR at home, right?
No.
So the idea is,
because you can still DVR with your cable service or whatever, your satellite service.
right.
Right.
And then when I'm on the road and I want to watch something, I'll just watch it. But if I'm on the road and I want to watch something that while I'm on the road, 5 hours should be enough, because, you know, maybe, do they have another tier, another level where you can buy
not free
hours?
Yeah, for $9.99 a month, then you get into the, you know, and so
I think it's not bad. I think it's not bad.
Okay.
If I look at as a DVR
connoisseur,
or I don't want to say connoisseur because I'm no expert, but I do a lot of DVR watching.
Right.
90% of my TV watching is DVR.
Right.
Because I don't have the time to watch the shows when they come on.
Right.
So I have no problem coming home and watching it. The shows that I would need to watch on the road.
Right.
So I'm not on the road for 5 hours.
You're not on the road long enough
Yeah.
for 5 hours to be too little
Yes.
for you to be able to get the
Because
content that
when
you
I'm
want to
done-
watch.
When I would be able to watch it anyway,
Right,
I'm heading home.
right,
So I'm either watching it or I'm gonna get home and watch it.
right, right.
So I'm not gonna need to park the car somewhere
Right.
and start watching it.
I have to see it now, so
Yeah,
let me
I have
know.
to park the car, honey. I'll
Right.
be home at 11 when I'm watching the show. No, I can come home and watch the show.
Right, right.
So
But I'm saying that there are people that feel as you feel, and they're saying that, you know, this is not bad. I mean, it's one of those things that, you know, a lot of them don't watch a lot of TV
Guess
or.
what?
Go ahead.
Guess what? I know I'm interrupting. Sorry, but you know something? Just this Sunday, I had the perfect opportunity for boxing.
Yeah.
There was a soccer game on that I needed to watch.
Right.
I wanted to watch.
Right.
You know I'm a soccer fan.
Right.
And watching it 10 hours later is not cool. As a matter of fact, I don't want to be around anybody that might know the
Right,
rules
right.
because it's
It
just
takes
gonna
away
kill
from
me.
it. Right.
So, Boxy would have come in really handy last week Sunday or last week whenever, Saturday
Right.
night.
Right.
So I love the idea behind Boxy.
Right.
That's why I love Tech Pulse because I didn't know about Boxy. Amazingly, as much as I'm up on technology,
Right.
I had no clue about Boxy.
That Boxy
And
exists.
Thanks to Tech Pulse. Again, I'm just flabbergasted.
Tell you, man, these are the things you're gonna hear right here on Tech Pulse, man. This is what it is. And for those of you that are interested in Boxy, obviously you can go to their website, you know, boxy.com, and you'll see all about Boxy and the services they offer. And they said that the DVR service availability is still limited to only 8 markets right now, you know, but the plan is to expand to 26 markets by the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? And once it rolls out to more areas and the DVR features come out of the beta, the beta stage, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll see if people really give Boxy, because they've been out before. Boxy
But
was.
it's not available everywhere though.
It's not available everywhere. The DVR service is not available everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The ability to stream your shows wherever you are, that you can do. But the DVR service is not available everywhere, no. And
No, wait a second. It says on the site.
You're looking on the site right now?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up.
Boxy Cloud DVR service is available near you. Enter your. So why would they have that if it was available?
Not the DVR, the streaming. The DVR service is not available. The ability to stream cable television.
My mother sent me to school to read.
Yeah, the ability to stream, that you can do, but they're adding a DVR service to their package. And what I'm saying is that, you know, for people who see, here's how I feel about it on Boxy. I mean, if you want to record, if you care enough about digital content, digital TV to record your content on the go as it is, right? You're going to record your content. I know, Devin, you record a lot of soccer and things like that. If you're giving me the ability to watch this thing on the go, and I'm going to take advantage of it, because for me, I'm the type of person, if I'm out of the house, then I'm not going to worry about whatever is coming on. You know, I record it and I'll wait when I come home. If you're going to offer me a service that says, hey, don't wait until you get home. You can watch this thing wherever you are, in the supermarket, as long as there's obviously internet access. And for those of us that have 3 and 4G, then you can get internet wherever. So you're telling me I can watch this thing anywhere. So if that's the case, then maybe I'm leaving somewhere and I'm like, man, by the time I go and come back, it's going to be over. But I know I have an hour like layover in an airport, or I know I'm going to be at the library for this amount of time, and for 30 minutes I can take a quick break from studying and watch whatever type of thing. I'm saying if I'm the type of person that I have to watch it on the go, you're giving me a service that gives me on the go, that means I'm someone that has content that I want to keep watching. You know, because you're not going to offer someone a fast car who doesn't like to drive fast. You can't say, well, here's a fast car and go 200 miles an hour. Oh, but don't go 200 miles an hour. You know, so it's to me, it's that kind of thinking. You're offering me a service because you obviously believe that this is something that I'm going to take advantage of, because, look, you're on the go. You don't want to miss those shows. You need to watch that thing on the go. Cool. but you're just going to give me 5 measly hours a month of recording time? I mean, sometimes I have shows recorded right now that I haven't gotten to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be thinking, stress, 90 days is coming up, it's going to be a race. If you're going to give it free, then at least just let it be unlimited. 5 hours a month, and it stays there as long as you want. 5 hours a month and then it's gone in 90 days. There's some content that I haven't really gotten to that I've recorded because there's so much content to watch. You can't get to everything.
The problem is that if they allow unlimited storage,
right,
it's going to be tough because storage costs.
Right. That's why they have it in their $9.99 plan.
$99.
Yeah, $9.99. Yeah, the $99 is to buy the box.
Yeah.
After that, you get a service plan. So what I'm trying to say is I agree with you because we at Pulse TV, we know that storage costs, but it's just one of those teasers. To me, if a man is hungry, don't give him a bite, a crust of bread. It's better to just don't give him any food at all than to give him a taste of food only for him to still. Now that just makes you more hungry.
Creating a murderer.
You see, so for those of you that want the service, hey, it's cool. I would say try it, see if it works for you. But what I say, go out and well, I guess you really can't try it unless you buy the service. You have to buy the Boxy TV. So it's one of those things where we have to be able to, and that's why we at Tech Pulse, we bring you these things because, you go into Best Buy, you go in the mall, you're like, wait, what's Boxy TV? What do they do? Now you know. Now you know what Boxy TV does, and you don't have to worry about, man, what do they do? We just told you right here on Tech Pulse. Now we're going to take a break and talk about one of the businesses that we were impressed with as a company at the Broward County Chamber of Commerce event that we went to yesterday, and we were a part of. One of the companies that we saw, was IC Fitness 2. These are people that specialize in Pilates and all of this type of stuff. And the lady came up to Devin, and they had a good conversation about what IC Fitness does, and we feel that this is a company that's they're like us. They're small, but they're growing, and they're getting their name out there. And this is one of the companies that we want to bring to you. They are located, for those of you that are local, 1105 East Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33304. If you want to contact them, their number is 754-816-9698. And their slogan is "Let's Get Fit, Pilates specialized just for you." So for those of you that maybe you wanted to get into a Pilates class, or you're like, man, I want to be able to do, some Pilates, but maybe you don't feel, like, flexible enough or whatnot. They have these things that they can personalize just to you. You can go to www.icfitness2.com to register on RSVP for 2013. They say come dressed in your fitness attire for an energetic and combined relaxed workout. So, there's not many places you can go and get an energetic and relaxed workout all at once. I'm trying to bring it up here so you can see, but I'm having a little trouble connecting to the site. Is there anything that you remember about this business, Devin, that stuck out from you other than the fact that they are able to specialize Pilates for you? Now, I personally don't do a lot of Pilates. Actually, I don't do any Pilates. But from from what I see, it does look like it's a very flexible. It increases your flexibility, and it increases your wind, and it increases your ability, your fitness ability. And a business like this surely can only do well. Well, what's your thoughts?
Well, I don't know a whole lot from experience about Pilates. I
Yeah.
only know from what people have told me, and a lot of people are excited about Pilates. And I know this person that is teaching the Pilates classes, and that she's a fit person.
Right.
She's always in
And that's important
Yeah.
for the person who is training you to actually look like they work out, you know? So, I mean, this lady looks like she's, practicing what she preaches. So, because a lot of times you have personal trainers that don't look like they train either, So I would run down there, check it out. If you have an interest in fitness, Pilates, and things like that, this is definitely, on your local, this is definitely the place you want to go. I See Fitness. Go ahead, Devin.
Yeah, Pilates instructors should not look like, what are those guys, sumo don't go together. It's just Pilates instructors need to look like fitness experts.
Look like fitness experts. So go down to I See Fitness 2 on 1105 East Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33304, or call them if you want to talk more about it and get some advice at 754-816-9698. That's 754-816-9698. And we'd like to thank I See Fitness 2 for participating in the Broward County Chamber of Commerce yesterday, and we wish them all the success that God will grant to them. All right, now on to one of our next stories here. We're talking about two companies that had been working together for a while. I guess a little under the radar, maybe. Maybe some of you know about it, but many people don't know that Apple and Yahoo have a relationship already, and they've been, according to the read in the Wall Street Journal, they've been discussing a deeper relationship as far as the iPhone goes. Now, as many of you know, Yahoo recently bought, well, I wouldn't say recently, but they bought a company called Sumly. Now you might wonder who Sumly or what they are. If you haven't heard tells, you didn't learn on that episode. Sumly is a company that was created by 17 people, and the idea behind the company was that the 7-year-old, he created an algorithm that allowed went out and got snippets of news stories. In other words, bite-sized news stories. So if something's happening, it went out, pulled the story from the internet and collected it in a bite-sized way, so you can get bite-sized internet stories. So you don't have to read the full story to know what's going on. You would put it together. Now there was some glitches to it because it would pick the stories from everywhere. So sometimes it didn't have it lined up just right. The words weren't always, but you got the gist of the story. So if I wanted to know about the announcement BlackBerry made, I don't have to read the entire Wall Street or article from The Verge or whatnot. The product coming out of Sumly would just put it succinctly, BlackBerry does this, and just give you the quick headline so you knew about it enough to get it quick snippet of news that you didn't have to digest the whole thing. Now, what makes this story compelling is that Apple and Yahoo are talking about an iPhone, more iPhone collaboration, because as you know, that Yahoo services are more prominent in iOS. They power some of their weather apps, some of their stock apps, and stuff like that. Are powered by Yahoo, and data from the Yahoo Finance and its weather site already come packaged onto iPhones. And Yahoo data like sports stats, help power Apple's voice-activated assistant, as you know, Siri, and stuff like that. So what the thought is that Yahoo can use their new acquisition, Sumly, along with if Apple can get Siri up to par and more intelligent. So could you imagine having this bite-sized news information read to you, as opposed to you having to read it yourself, while you're doing something? You can say, Siri, what's the latest news? And Siri pulls from somebody this, that, and the next thing, and she just reads off the news to you. Reads off, Siri, what's the weather gonna be like? What's the detailed weather? And then it pulls from somebody, and again tells you, not just gives you a list of websites and say, well, would you, because it does the work that you would have done. Because a lot of the problem with Siri is that, Siri works sometimes, but most times she doesn't work. She either doesn't understand you.
Really?
Yeah, most of the time it's like, you say something, it's like, I did not understand, and you have to repeat it again. Or you do it and there's a delay between the commercials they show is not how Siri actually operates. When they show Scorsese in the cab, Siri, what's this? Bing, bing. And then right away Siri answers fluently, no problem. No.
I wouldn't know.
No, that's not how Siri is in real life. Anyone that has an iPhone can attest to the fact that Siri has become more of a novelty in terms of more than useful. More than a useful.
Wow. I thought that was like way back in the dark ages, because everybody had Siri, and I didn't, and they were talking to this, I really didn't know that they were not, keeping the standard high.
Yeah, I mean, when Siri first came out, the idea, and Google has its own version of Siri that, of course, they've come out with, and many people say that the Google version is better, more responsive, better intelligent answers and things like that.
Which phone is the Google version?
I think it's in the Google Play Store. So if you have an Android phone and you go into the Google Play Store, I think you can download the app.
But it probably only works on one of the more recent ice cream or one of those.
Yeah, ice cream sandwich or above, I'm sure. I don't think it works on gingerbread.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you can try.
I'm still doing ginger.
You can try, what I'm saying? You can try, but a lot of people prefer the Google app. So you can go to the Google Play Store, try and download the Google voice recognition, I forget what they call it, app that is like Siri, to where you can say, hey, Google, or whatever you would initialize it. What's this? What's that? But as far as Siri goes, Siri is not the smashing success that Apple would have hoped it would be. And many people like the idea of Siri. It's just that Siri doesn't work the way they thought it would. Like I say, it's either not responsive, or you say, Siri, where's the restaurant around you? And she'll find, here are 5 restaurants around you, but she doesn't tell you anything. Just says, here are 5 restaurants near to you. And you still have to look at the phone. If I'm driving, Siri, where's the closest restaurant to me? Here are 5 restaurants I found. Yeah, where are they? I want to know, there's a restaurant on 35th and University or whatever, there's a restaurant right around the corner. You want that natural response, which is what Siri doesn't give. But if Yahoo and Apple can somehow get the technology to where Siri can actually use Sumley's technology, now this would be pretty good. I mean, being able to wake up and just talk to your phone like the assistant we thought Siri was going to be when she first came on the market. You say, hey, Siri, what's the latest news today? President Obama says nuclear warheads is this, and the city legislators, and you say it and it happens. This is where you're becoming like Star Trek now, where you just say, a computer, what's the environment, and the computer just talks to you naturally. This is where we're coming to, and they say that the paper didn't say, or the news didn't say that the deal was imminent. Negotiations appear to be in the very early stages, and former Google executive Marissa Mayer took over as CEO of Yahoo recently and has been focusing a lot of energy on Yahoo's products and content rather than its traditional strength in advertising and stuff like that. And as many of you know, Yahoo, Marissa Mayer, she is doing a lot of shakeups at Yahoo. She even called back the work at home plan that a lot of companies have. A lot of their employees, I'm sure Devin, you know this, working in the investment banking industry, that a lot of times you might have to work from home, or you might have to work from a remote location. And a lot of the people at Yahoo, they had a lot of people who worked from home. They didn't work, they didn't go into the office, and Marissa Mayer had canceled that. She said, okay, everyone needs to be in the office starting, I think it was June 1st. She wants everyone in there, and she took a lot of flack for that, because people felt that, well, for women that are pregnant or people that have problems, you got to allow that. But with the shape Yahoo was in, because Yahoo was not doing well, she's trying to shake things up. And so, that was a move she felt was necessary. So with this deal, with Yahoo, if I were her to, get some of that technology and an infusion of cash from Apple, that can help the company, keep going and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what is going to be, what this deal is going to garner between Yahoo and Apple as far as Siri. Now, we don't know, like they're saying it's in the very early stages. I just said that Sumly was a good candidate for Siri because Yahoo recently acquired Sumly, and because they recently acquired Sumly, that alliance with the news snippets and Siri being able to read it, I thought that would be, something that would be good if Apple could get that going. So we'll continue to watch this story here at Tech Pulse, and we'll see.
Very interesting.
It's a very interesting thing to see if they could get this, if they can make that marriage happen. Maybe they can't, what I'm saying, but we'll see if they can make this marriage happen, because they already talk about Siri in the sports world as far as Yahoo's app, using it. The Wall Street Journal also says that Yahoo would like to provide search results to Apple in Safari, but Microsoft's Bing search engine currently powers Yahoo's search. So I don't know if if Apple is going to allow Yahoo to do that, seeing that their biggest competitor, one of their biggest competitors, Microsoft, is the one actually pulling the strings on Yahoo's search engine. Apple has a long-term deal with Google as the default search engine of iOS. So even though Yahoo is going to be in there, don't look for their search engine to really be prominent, because with the deal Apple has with Google being the dominant search engine, even above Safari, the default search engine for iOS, we're going to have to see if this story actually leads to anything in the future. Now, when we're talking about, we just finished talking about Google, and we're going to come back to them in a little bit, but one of the stories I wanted to hit was Samsung announcing that their Galaxy Note tablet was about to be released. Now, this is the Note tablet. This is not the Note phone. This is the Samsung Galaxy's 16 gigabyte Note 8.0. They say it's going to launch. Guess what? It's going to launch. Actually, it launched yesterday, April 11th, in the US. So you can get a 16 gigabyte Galaxy Note 8.0 for the low price of $399.
So they're replacing the 7, the
Nexus. They're coming out with a version 2 to the Nexus 7.
What's the difference?
This is their other tablet line, the Note 8.0.
No, but what's the difference between the two lines? You know what I'm saying?
Not much as far as functionality, just the name. You know what I'm saying? Not much. The Note stems from the phone, where they had the Galaxy Note phone, and now they have the Galaxy Note tablet. The same kind of functionality with the stylus. The Nexus 7 doesn't come with a stylus. This one comes with what they call the S Pen or Sven, some people call it, and stuff like that. So it was a branch of the phone that they came out with, the Note phone. A lot of people liked the textile feel of with the pen writing in their hands and so forth. So Samsung, trying to garner that market, busted out a tablet with the pen that they also call the Galaxy Note, and it's a tablet with a pen. So for people who like writing with a pen, not your finger, you know, and stuff like that. It feels more natural. They
Yeah,
came up with that. But as far as tablet-wise, not much different. You know, not much. I'm sure maybe some of the software might be tailor-made more to writing with a pen and stuff like that. Maybe some of their dictation software, or maybe they have a Word type application in there. I don't know exactly, but from what I see as far as specs and so forth, it's not that much different. But the price is definitely different. The Nexus 7 can run you $199, and the new Nexus 7 II is actually rumored to be maybe coming out even at $149. You know, but the Galaxy Note 8.0 is going to be. They say that they're gearing up for the launch of the latest in the U.S. You know, just a few days, but just days after the device went on sale in the UK, Samsung announced that the Wi-Fi only 16 gigabyte version would hit the store shelves on April 11th for $399. So this is not 3G. The 16.0 version is going to be Wi-Fi only. So here's just some of the specs. If you're looking for it, is that it seems to be just as snappy, you know, as everyone expected it to be. They're gonna have a 1.6 gigahertz 4 quad processor, and 2 gigabytes of RAM.
That's a computer.
Yeah, a 4 quad processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM. They have they say a peculiar voice call feature was supposed to come out with it, but they stripped it away stateside when they were going out for launch. And it has a 5 megapixel rear camera. It has a 3 megapixel front facing camera, and but the resolution isn't that great. So you're probably better off with the Samsung Galaxy phone, the S, the Galaxy S3 or 4. The camera is better there than it is on that Note, or the Galaxy Note for that matter. The camera is better on the phone than it is the tablet. So I wouldn't exactly, rush out and get it, especially at $399, and then you're only getting a Wi-Fi only version, no 3G, no 4G. So I mean, that's kind of pricey for something that you can get the same similar application on the Nexus 7, or you can get any number of tablets for cheaper, than that. So the 10.1 inch version of it, people are saying feels the most natural. That feels like the best size to get. They said that you have a 1280 by 800 display, so you're talking 720p resolution right there, in the 8-inch, which isn't bad for an 8-inch because it resolution is smaller.
What's the price they're talking about?
Say it again.
What kind of price they're talking about?
$399, $400. You're gonna pay for that version, and to me, like I said, it's not something to go rush out and get. It's out. If you have to have the Galaxy Note and you feel that, man, anything Samsung Galaxy Note, anything like that, I got to have, then I guess you can go out and get this. I wouldn't, for that price. It's, for a Wi-Fi only version, no. You got to give me at least 3G with that. Wi-Fi only, you got to depend on hotspots and all that type of stuff. And 16 gigabytes, today people eat that for lunch. 16 gigabytes on a tablet, it's really not that much. You're downloading all your videos and stuff like that. You're paying $400 plus tax for only 16 gigabytes, and it's only going to be Wi-Fi only. So that means the 3G is going to be at least $100 more. So you're talking $500. I don't know, man. Samsung Galaxy, if you can afford it, hey, go for it. But for me, I would just relax for now if I were you. Just hang tight. Wait until the Nexus 7 II comes out, which is rumored to be $149. So if you're gonna get a tablet,
$149.
That's what they're saying. They're saying it's $199 is the set price, but Google is saying they may release it at $149. The Nexus 7 II.
Serious?
I'm serious, 100%. So can you imagine that bad boy comes out?
I'm tethered to Google and their stuff.
So you're saying that this is something that you would definitely.
I'm in.
There's no question.
No.
The only question is when is it coming out?
Just when. 149. I'm like 100%. You know,
there,
ready to get it. Ready.
I hear you. So that's what I'm saying. So if you're going to now, according to the South Korean giant, because many of you know that Samsung is from South Korea, their base is there. They said that the Galaxy Note, just so you get everything, so you know everything that's going on, they said the Galaxy Note includes $200 worth of preloaded content. So they're giving you free $200 worth of preloaded content and services, including 50 gigabytes of Dropbox storage. You see? So Samsung, they're going to give you 50 gigabytes included of Dropbox storage for 2 years. For 2 years, yep, and 1 month free unlimited music streaming in Samsung's Music Hub, and a limited time $25 Google Play credit, among many other things they're coming out with, which is essential. Which slices I mean, basically, I guess you could say slice the price in half. You know, $399, you get $200 worth of stuff. So really, it's $199. But I don't really look at stuff that way, because I still gotta shell out $399 from my wallet. So when someone tells me it's like $200, no, not to me, because my wallet doesn't see $200 coming out of it. My wallet sees $400 fly out and it's gone.
It doesn't see.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? My wallet feels that $400 leaving it as we speak. But I mean, you do get a bunch of stuff. I mean, 50 gigabytes of Dropbox storage isn't bad. You know, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? For 2 years. So you know, I mean, you're signed up for 2 years for Dropbox. You get 1 month free unlimited music streaming. So these are all the things that you're gonna get with the Samsung Galaxy Note 2.0. Do I still think it's worth it at $399? Not really, because, you know, I mean, when people try and bundle, it's just like when these new video game machines come out and they come out with these bundles. Yeah. I like to put together my own bundle. Don't give me something and say this is what you will use. Maybe I don't want 50 gigabytes of storage. I'm not saying it's not cool to have, but maybe I don't want that. Maybe I only want 5 gigabytes. So if you're gonna charge me $399, you say, well, I'm charging you $399, but here's all the stuff I'm gonna give you. It's like, yeah, but I don't have $399. What if I pay $199? What can I get for $199? Nothing. You see, because it's $399, and then they pack all this stuff in to say, see, it's worth it. It's like, oh, yeah, so it's $200 worth of stuff. So why not take all that stuff out? Hey, Samsung, let me just, you know, let me just pick your ear. Take all of that stuff out and offer a $199 version to the Note 2. You know how many notes you're gonna sell? You know what I'm saying? Let people get their own Dropbox storage and their music downloads. Come out with that thing at $199 to compete with Google's Nexus 7. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you're gonna sell, because there are a lot of people that like the Note, the phone as well. They might want a bigger a Note. You know, the 10.1 inch tablet, 8 inch. You know, people might want that. So don't bundle a bunch of stuff and then charge me a big price and then say, hey, I'm charging you a big price because look what you get. Maybe I don't want what you're trying to offer, except for, because there's many products that are out there that I say, well, you know, I would like the product if it didn't come tethered with all of this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a thought. But for those of you out there looking for a new tablet, you may want to save your pennies if you're going to get this at $399. You do get a lot of stuff with it. But for $399, you know, it's not cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's not the cheapest tablet in the world that you could possibly get. So just be careful in running out and saying, oh man, I'm going to get this. Because many people, what they find out is that many people who get all this stuff, they don't even use half of what they get. So they get 50 gigabytes of storage and they barely use 5. You know, they get this free streaming internet, not streaming internet, music streaming downloads, and they just port their existing library of music into it, and so you have to read the entire thing. Don't just run out and buy it. Read the entire thing and see if this is something that you want to get, because in the end, it's your dollars, and once they're out of your pocket, they ain't coming back. So that's one of the stories that we're following here on Tech Pulse. And we're going to take a quick break right now, and we're going to talk about another one of the businesses that we were impressed with at this year's Broward County Commerce. What is it again? Chamber of Commerce. I can never remember that, man. It's like Broward County Chamber. What chamber? Who? Yeah, Broward County Chamber of Commerce. Now, there is a University of Fort Lauderdale. They say excellence through partnership. The lady Linda Nation, who is the Director of Admissions and Student Services, was at the Chamber of Commerce. One Nation Under God, and she is looking to recruit obviously new students and so forth. So if you are one of those people that are looking to go back to school, you're looking to go back to school and you're looking for a good school to go to, this school, they recently changed a few things around, and I mean, this school is looking to enroll not just people for to do a few things. This school is looking to enroll people who are going to change America, change the world, and so if this is something that you are interested in, you're interested in going back to school, you want to get top quality education, you want to get top quality education, then this is a place that you need to check out. Seriously, this is a place you need to check out. The University of Fort Lauderdale. And speak to Linda Nation, the Director of Admissions and Student Services. That's their website right there, as you can see. And the number to call would be, the telephone would be 954-486-7728. That's 954-486-7728. They are located at 4069 Northwest 16th Street, Lauderhill, Florida 33313. You can get to their website by going to uftl.edu. That's UFTL, that's University of Fort Lauderdale, uftl.edu. Fax, if you need to fax them anything, it's 954-486-7667. That's 954-486-7667. Talk to Linda Nation, Director of Admissions and Student Services. And if you need to email them, the email address is universityadmissions@uftl.edu. Just tell them you heard about them right here on Tech Pulse. Let them know that the interview that we did with them worked through Tech Pulse, and hey, go ahead and sign up. These people are movers and shakers. They're trying to change the way education is done, and through giving you quality education at a price that you can afford. A lot of education is not cheap, and these people, they know that, and so they're giving you quality education, saying at a price that is reasonable, So check them out and let them know that you heard about them on Tech Pulse. All right, Devin. Now we're headed into one of our other stories. We're headed into the meat of the situation. You see, now a lot of people are saying, man, what is this guy talking about? The meat of the situation? I thought we was. I mean, you guys have heard a lot of stuff going on Tech Pulse. You guys have heard a lot of stuff, but it's not over. You know what I'm saying? We're not done yet on Tech Pulse.
Let them know it's all meat.
It's all meat, exactly. There's no fluff. All 100% meet. Now, one of the other stories we want to talk about is this week that happened. A Washington bill was recently talked about that came out that would allow employers to seek workers' Facebook passwords. You see, so a lot of people are like, I don't know, I don't know about that. That's not right, But it allows employers, if they're gonna hire people, they're gonna hire people, or they're doing background checks or anything like that. It said this bill would allow employers to be able to ask, for workers' Facebook passwords. It said that the bill amendment proposed could allow employers to ask for workers' Facebook or other social media password during company investigations. It said the provision was proposed for a bill that safeguards social network passwords of workers and job applicants. The measure bars employees from asking for social media credentials during job interviews. This amendment came on the heels of that law that prevented employers from being able to do that. It said the amendment was introduced at the House Labor Committee at the request of business groups. So a lot of employers requested that this bill, people who own companies, they requested that this bill be amended because they wanted to know, and they said that the Associated Press last year, they reported that some employers around the country were asking applicants for their social media information. And in 2012, this year, 7 states banned employees from asking job applicants and employees for their social network passwords, with some exceptions and stuff like that. And then another 33 states are considering
That's not cool.
similar laws. Devin, what do you think about this bill? Do employers have the right? Because it says here that they're just looking to get these passwords during company investigations. They're not saying that, hey, give me a password now. If you're a person applying for a job, the company is saying, I want the right to be able to check your social network because they're figuring that this will give me a better idea of who you are, what you're about, and so forth, as well as if an employee is under investigation for something, they figure that getting the passwords for social networks could give them insight into whatever they're investigating. So do you think this amendment is something that should be passed? Clearly, it's getting a lot of press. 33 states have banned employers from being able to do this, but they say job groups is the one that went to the House Labor Committee and requested that this bill that prevented them from asking would be amended in the case of employee investigation, and that would include hiring to if someone is being investigated. What do you think about this as a former employer yourself in a big corporation? Is this something you felt or would feel would have been necessary in today's world, being able to, if you're going to hire someone, being able to have access, should you choose to have access to their Facebooks, Twitter, and so forth?
No, I think that's going far. I think them asking for their Facebook account is reasonable, but getting their password, no, I think that's ridiculous. I think that's really too far. What could they have on their Facebook account that they wouldn't be able to get from their background check in terms of,
right.
Well,
they're saying that they can give them a better feel for the person in terms of who they are as a person, not necessarily looking to see if they have some criminal activity there, but if they're a job applicant. One of the guys said, who's in the banking industry, said rather than just referring everything to law enforcement, it gives a company a chance to do a better investigation if someone does something criminal. And then if they're hiring someone, it gives them a better feel of who this person is by seeing. It's kind of like references was back in the days when you would put down, give me 5 references, and they had the right to call those people and ask those people about you to get. This is just a digital way of getting references. Do you see the correlation with the references of the past and the Facebook situation? Twitter, LinkedIn, all those various social networks?
No, that's you get references not from forcibly getting references. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
that
right.
sounds like
give me a reference or die. Right.
Give me a reference or die. You know what I mean? I can see if they say right.
Right.
We have the right to check your social media accounts but not to be able to access it.
So it's one of those things where they would, like the employee would have to open up their social, not give them the password, but log into their Facebook account and then have the employer look through it? Is that you're saying? Or how are you saying it should go?
I say they should be able to say, listen, we want could you, we want to see your Facebook account, for example. How can we find you on Facebook? We want to just, because I understand that aspect of it.
Right.
But not to be able to go into it, not to be able to, when you go into it, what are you looking for?
Who knows? They're saying this can help them better. So do you think in the case of hiring someone versus an employee investigation, is that a different situation? Like if an employee is being investigated for fraud for whatever reason or embezzlement for whatever reason, is that a reason enough to get their Facebook? Okay, so you're saying that's different than, because they're saying where they want this for where employees are either under investigation or if they're hiring. So you're saying that hiring is not a good enough reason to have that information.
I don't think I'm comfortable with that idea at all. And I totally understand, the implications and but have better interviews, man.
You mean find out more? A lot of people prepare for interviews, and they say what they feel people want to hear.
Yeah, but the same thing they're going to do with their Facebook accounts.
Because they feel that on Facebook they're more natural. They're going to say,
I don't have a Facebook account. What are they going to say?
Then they're going to say that we can't find out much about you, so sorry, the job cannot be yours.
What? And I'm qualified, overqualified. I'm the answer to your dreams in terms of my skill set. Right. And you're going to say no because I can't see your Facebook account? That's crap.
Is the fact that they said that business groups came to the House Labor Committee. So it wasn't just like some random, crackpot just trying to cause trouble. Business groups band together and said, this is what we want. Do you think that it's a concern in today's world in the business community, or is that just a few people that's just,
No, I think there's a genuine concern for the kind of mentality that people have. I understand that totally. I understand the issue of, wondering what kind of person you're hiring.
Right.
But before there was Facebook, what did you have?
You just had regular interviews. You just had police reports and so forth.
That's it. So that's like saying the more stuff they have out there is the more... No, we're becoming too reliant on that kind of stuff. We need to have good interviews. And I had good interviews. When I interviewed people, and... That's why you have a 3-month probation.
Right. So if you find anything out, you can easily... So, so you're saying this is a case of technology really being used for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Because we're a society where, a lot of people, they're out there, and now you have a bill that a lot of businesses band together to say that, hey, we want to know not just about our employees, but we want to be able to find information out if we need to investigate someone, which you say if someone is being investigated for something criminal, that's a different story, because you need to make sure that, but just hiring someone, you want to make sure you're not going to hire someone who's going to shoot up the place or someone who has a Facebook page that, maybe talks about killing or, who knows, but in the end, there's only so much you can find out. Even if you got a Facebook page and the person was perfect, that doesn't mean that they are, because there's a first time for everything. No one starts out as a murderer. Everyone had to commit their first crime, so you can never look at something and say, I have the complete idea of who this person is. You know, but at the same time, I can understand businesses wanting to safeguard and protect and so forth, but passwords to your, you know, I think that's giving them a bit too much control over your life. You know, my personal passwords, you have access to. So, you know, and you don't know the business, you know, but I guess it's one of those things too that if businesses are going to, certain businesses are going to be able to do this, then, you know, it's really going to make it hard for people to find work and to do them because you just don't want to be exposed. Or like you say, you can say you don't have a Facebook account, but I guess if the company has a Facebook account, they can search for you and find that you do, so then they'll say, oh, well, you've lied. And it's a touchy situation. I think for right now, that the laws banning it really need to just be kept in place. They didn't say that this law had passed, just that it was an amendment was proposed. So we'll keep watching this story and we'll see if this is actually something that I don't think it's something that's gonna pass. You know, because you know, to me it's just. I just don't think people are going to stand for it. You know, people are not going to stand for just employers saying, I must have your Facebook password. And no, you can look me up on Facebook like anybody can look me up on Facebook. But beyond that,
that's what I agree. I agree 100% with that. Look me up.
Yeah, like anybody can.
My profile
right.
that you can, you know, and like anybody else.
Right.
You have any interest to do it, go ahead, look. But don't
try to
no,
get.
No.
You see. And with that, we will move on to our next story, which concerns Microsoft and Nokia. According to this story, Microsoft demanded that the EU take action over Android because they say that Android is basically a bully. You know, Android is a bully, and they use a company called FairSearch to sign this litigation to the EU. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about FairSearch, you're saying, FairSearch, who's that? FairSearch, they claim to represent the consumer's best interest, that's their claim. But it consists, and this is where I have a little problem with the story of Microsoft and Nokia filing through FairSearch. Because FairSearch, they say that they represent consumers, but the company consists of FairSearch consists of companies who either directly compete with Google or don't like, have been known not to like Google websites and different stuff like that. And no consumer or consumers or consumer groups are a part of this organization. So when you say that, you know, you're an organization looking out or who represents the consumer, you would think that your body is made up of consumer-related individuals. But there's no consumers or consumer groups that's a part of FairSearch. The only companies that's a part of FairSearch are companies that are in direct competition with Google or companies that don't like their websites, you know, to appear in Google search results because it's Google and all that type of stuff. So they said that, and here's some of the things that they claim, Microsoft, Nokia, to the EU. Here's some of the things that they claim when they file this suit, because it's really directed at Android, you know, because Microsoft has Microsoft has Windows Phone, sorry. They have Windows Phone, and of course Nokia. You know, they had with the Lumia 900 good phones. Their marketing, you know, because Nokia and Windows teamed up. Nokia was the one that came out with, you know, the relaunch of Nokia was Windows' first iteration into the phone market, you see. And so now they're demanding that the EU, according to them, according to Reuters, they demand that the EU take action. They said that companies including Microsoft and Nokia have stepped up pressure on the EU antitrust regulators to take action against Google, accusing it of blocking the competition in the mobile telephone industry. They said the complaint comes as Google attempts to resolve a 2-year-long investigation by the European Commission, EU, into its internet search practices and avert a possible fine that could hit them in the area of $5 billion, or at least 10% of its 2012 revenue. 10% of the money it made, money Google made in 2012. They're saying that that's what the fine would cost if this thing went through. They say more than a dozen companies have voiced their grievances about Google's search practices to the commission. The investigators' initial focus was on its desktop search engine, but the European Commission, European Union Competitors Commission spokesperson said last year that he had received complaints about Google's Android, the world's most popular operating system for smartphones. He had received complaints, and that they aim to reach a settlement with Google in the later half of the year. And the complaints, however, are the people who are complaining, the companies, they're frustrated with this whole process, because they're saying, it's taken too long and whatnot. And they say that Google is using Android to divert traffic to its search engine. That's the complaint they're making, that Google is using their Android OS to, when you use another search engine or something like that, or Microsoft has it on their not Microsoft, Bing. They have Bing on search engines and so forth, and Android redirects, if you will, people searching to Google searches. That's what they're saying. One of the Fair Search's lawyers, Thomas, a guy named Thomas, he said that Google is using its Android mobile system as a Trojan horse to deceive its partners, monopolize the mobile marketplace, and control consumer data. Now, Devin, do you think, is Google really this Frankenstein monster that the Fair Search is? Now, keep in mind, obviously, Fair Search is made up of companies that are in direct competition with Google. So, is Google really the green-eyed monster?
Yes. No, but...
does Google have the right to increase its brand?
Of course they do. Why not?
So why do you think companies like Microsoft and Nokia is fighting? Or is this one of those things where
they're bigger than that?
Are they jealous? So
they're jealous. They want more market share. They want to, that Google is far-reaching, and the way they approach things and their is behind the door. I don't think it's deliberately behind the door, but it just makes sense. The way. It's a smart approach to whatever they do. They develop an app which is really geared towards getting that fruit over there.
Right.
But they don't go directly after the fruit.
Right.
They get the app, they build the customer base on that app, and they go, okay, now we want that app. And they just reach out and get it. And there's nothing wrong with that. If do your own thing, develop your own system,
right? And then go ahead and market it to market it out there. And if you can't get the market, don't cry foul.
No, that's
because you can't get the market. And this lawyer even went on to say that he said to the commission, failure to act will only embolden Google to repeat its desktop abuses of dominance as consumers increasingly turn to a mobile platform dominated by Google's Android system. So, here they're saying that, look, Nokia, their phones have been a failure. For whatever reason, the Nokia Lumia 900, the 800 hasn't taken off.
I thought Nokia was going to be the phone of the future.
Back in the days.
Maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Nokia was very futuristic in some of the stuff they did.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they were bigger in Europe than they were here.
Yeah.
They were pretty much very cutting edge. They were streaming, actually, to their phones and from their phones many years ago.
Right. And then they died out. They died out, and then now they come back with Windows Phone. And this was Microsoft's big opportunity to get into the phone market. So they teamed up with Nokia, to get Windows Phone out of the way. But it hasn't worked, and so therefore to try and pretend that Google is the reason for, Google is the reason for why you're not successful. I would say yes, Google is the reason in terms of they have so much of the market share that they just can't make a dent, in it. But at the same time, saying that that this is something that if you allow Google to continue, they're going to dominate the market and they're going to control the market and all this stuff. I mean, then you might as well say that about Apple. You might as well say Apple is dominating the market and they're domineering and all this stuff because, it doesn't make any sense to say. And one source here from Microsoft, they say plain and simple. Sources that listen to what Microsoft is saying. They're saying no one is really fooled. Everyone knows that fair search lies in the shadows of Microsoft.
I'm not getting it free.
Oh, it's down?
Yeah, switch back to.
Switch to what?
Let's see if we get it back. It's okay. We're good.
All right, we're back. Just a little breakdown in communication. So we're back with the story with Microsoft dealing with that injunction with Google, and they're saying, over the years, Microsoft has used several groups to urge the commission to investigate its business practices, including the initiative from Competitive Online Marketplace, the Association for Compliance Technology, and the former is largely funded by Microsoft, while Microsoft is one of the several prominent members. Others include eBay, Oracle, and stuff like that. So, Microsoft has had a history of doing this sort of thing, but I really don't see this story really going anywhere. I don't see Microsoft really that, any injunction is going to be passed on Google. Now, if Google is found to be guilty, the bad part is they're going to be fined $5 billion or minimum 10% of what they made last year. And to me, that's a heavy fine. That's crazy. So you can see why Google is trying to fight back, why they're not just going to take this thing lying down, because $5 billion, that's on the line. And they have a lot to lose if this injunction goes through. But to me, it looks like Microsoft just cannot break into the market. They cannot break into the smartphone market, like they broke into the gaming world. When they came out into the gaming world, they made a splash with Xbox. Microsoft is used to being successful at whatever it does, and now they're not. In the phone world, they're an utter failure. They have not been able to crack into the smartphone market like I'm sure they wanted to. Yeah. And, rather than just trying to say, what can we do? We can't do anything about it. Let's just try to do what we can, move on. Now, they're saying, look, it's Google that's the problem, and we're going to hit Google until somehow they break through. But I don't think that's going to happen, because Google is a big company, and having their Android service on all the different phones voluntarily, all these different companies have chosen to use the Android platform, and Google has the right to try and grow their business, and so if people are using Google search, or their Android-based system is biased towards Google search, what do you think it's going to be biased towards? Because that's their operating system. So clearly, if you're using their operating system, they're going to want you to use their search engine. That's just what it is. They're not going to say, oh, okay, you use my operating system and use whatever search engine you want. No, they want you to have everything in Google service. No one says anything about Apple. And Apple is one of the biggest monopolies that I know of in terms of wanting everything in the Apple world. So, nobody complains about Apple. So, you really can't fault a company for wanting to increase, its brand. And as far as Google goes, trust me, those people have quite a bit of money. And speaking of which, when we talk about quite a bit of money, we're talking about companies like WhatsApp. Google Google was in what was reported this week to be in talks to acquire a company called WhatsApp. Now you might say, well, I don't know, I've never heard of WhatsApp, or what's that? WhatsApp Messenger is a proprietary cross-platform instant messaging application for smartphones.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
I tested it a while back.
Oh, you heard about WhatsApp?
Yeah, and I
so
used it
explain to the folks what it is basically.
Basically, it's the same thing.
Other than what I just said,
no, it's not much. It's really exactly that. It's proprietary type of
cross-platform,
application that allows you to stay in touch. I guess it's the way they do it that makes it interesting,
right? And
they push you to bring other people in,
right?
And there's constant updates. I think they try to pattern the BlackBerry application. I think in a nutshell.
What it seems like to me, they try to. And it was reported that Google, according to CBS News, wanted to buy WhatsApp for $1 billion. You see, they were in. At least that was the rumor. You know what I'm saying? That was the rumor. They were in talks to acquire WhatsApp for $1 billion. They said that Google and WhatsApp have been talking for about 4 or 5 weeks, according to a certain source. They say, citing a person who claims to have knowledge of the negotiations. So far, WhatsApp has been able to push the acquisition price to nearly $1 billion by playing hardball, they say, sources say. And as you know, WhatsApp is one of the most popular messaging applications for mobile phones. And in January, WhatsApp announced that it had set a personal record on New Year's Eve with 7 billion inbound messages sent that day. You know what I'm saying? WhatsApp. They said on New Year's Eve, they had 7 billion inbound messages sent and another 11 billion outbound messages sent in the same time period. So and that was a record for them. The previous record, one-day record for WhatsApp, was about 10 billion total messages. You see? So WhatsApp clearly, you know what I'm saying, is a company that clearly is a company that is popular. Having that many inbound and outgoing instant messages is. Oh wait! I just lost the story. Oh, there you go. Yeah, having that much inbound stuff and outbound is really, is really quite. I don't want to say amazing, but it's impressive. That's the word I'm looking for. It's impressive. 7 billion inbound and 11 billion outbound messages in one day on New Year's Eve. So hey, you would think that they could play hardball with Google and get their price up to $1 billion. But then later on, I don't know if maybe talks kind of died down or if, like after a while, you play too much hardball, sometimes it comes back to, bite you in the buttock, because you play too much hardball and then people say, you know what, we don't care anymore, because now WhatsApp came out and said that after all of that, they denied any allegations that Google was going to buy them or they were going to sell to Google or anything like that. They said right away, according to Tech Radar, say WhatsApp says it is not going to sell to Google. After all, they decided to end all of the speculation and whatnot, that they were going to be sold and Google was going to buy them. They said the company denied it, although it's not clear whether the fact is that talks have just ended or the talks were never happening. People don't really know. All Things Digital reported that a WhatsApp business development head told them that they were not holding sales talks with Google, and they declined to say anything more than that. So was this something happening? Was it not? Sometimes it's hard to tell. A lot of these companies, they will play hardball because they know that they're popular, and sometimes, like I said, it comes back to bite them in the butt because people are saying, you know what, I don't need to deal with this. We don't need to deal with it, but we know Google has enough money to basically do whatever they want. They have enough money to do whatever they want. They have enough money to buy whatever company they want to buy. And, if they decided they wanted to buy WhatsApp, and WhatsApp was like, well, you bought Instagram for, well, not you, but Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion, and they were only out for 2.5 years, 2 years, 2.5 years, then if you want us, you got to pay, big money, or $2 billion or whatever. Sometimes these companies do that, and in the end, it just ends up, biting you in the butt, because after a while, nobody cares. And that's what seems to happen with this deal. All right, we want to take a quick break once again to talk yet again about one of the companies that once again had a good impact in the show. This company is called Tomorrow's Rainbow Inc. Tomorrow's Rainbow. I think Devin remembers that one precisely because he was like, oh yeah, telling you, these guys. You can go to their website, tomorrowsrainbow.org, and I'm going to try to type that up right now. It's called Tomorrow's Rainbow. Now, from what I understand, they are saying that you can please join us at the ranch for Hopeful Tears Tour. This is a 1 hour, they say this 1 hour tour is not a fundraiser, and you won't want to miss it.
My name is Olivia. I'm 7 years old. My dad died in an airplane. My name is Michael. I'm 7 years old. My dad died in a car accident. My name is Lauren. I'm 11 years old. My mom was sick and also died in a car accident.
Nobody wants to talk about it, but the reality is, over 3% of America's children will experience the death of a parent by the time they reach 18. What would you do if tragedy struck your family? Tomorrow's Rainbow is here, providing a unique approach to grief support for children with the help of miniature horses.
Tomorrow's Rainbow Inc.
Tomorrow's Rainbow.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to get out there. They're trying to, promote their business, and really make a difference, And so if you have time, and this is something that, you want to do, I would head down to matter of fact, they said for more information, you should call them at 954, for those that are local, 954-978-2390. That's 954-978-2390. So call them up, ask them a bit about what their service is. Ask them, they have a free tour, or a 1 hour tour. They say it's not a fundraiser. So it's a 1 hour tour. You won't want to miss it, is what they're saying. I don't know if that tour is free. It didn't say free here. But they're saying it's not a fundraiser type situation. So they want you to join them and find out more about what they have to offer, and more about what their service is all about. And I'm sure they have all the information that you can look for. They have all the questions. You have questions about what they do, about their hours, any kind of thing, as you can see. They should have the answer. Call that number, 954-978-2390, and I'm sure they'll have information for you here. And just let them know that you heard about them here on Tech Pulse. All right, so right now we're going to head into one of our other stories. This week had so many stories, and one of the other stories that they had is that GeForce, as many of you know, NVIDIA's GeForce chipset, they released information on the new 700M, the 700M family. Ooh, they're bringing out some new, the GeForce GT 700M family now has some new members, and they're saying that with spring well underway, and the pending launch of Intel's new processor, and we're going to talk about that too, because Intel has a new processor that they're calling Haswell. That they had the Core i5, not i5, but the Core i series. Intel Core i3, Core i5, Core i7. That was the Intel Core series. Core i series is what they call it. And now Intel is coming out with a new set of chips called Haswell. So you're going to start seeing these chips when you go into the store, Best Buy, they're going to say, yeah, with Intel Haswell chips. And you're going to go, what's that? You now know that's the newest chip from Intel coming right here. You heard that information right here on TechBooks. But before we get to Intel, we're talking about NVIDIA. You know what I'm saying? Because NVIDIA has been known for graphics cards. You know, good graphics cards, hardcore people who do a lot of graphical works, like us here at Pulse Media. You know, we do a lot of video editing. We do a lot of video work, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, NVIDIA, even for people at home, you don't have to be a corporation to enjoy the stuff that NVIDIA comes out. You know what I'm saying? The OEMs always like to have, you know, new parts come across the board. And so they're getting a new series of chips from NVIDIA, the 700M. And they said that these things are already being released in a few laptops, with the 710 and the GT730M being the ones being released. And NVIDIA is rolling out the rest of the 700M family. Last year, NVIDIA was successful with the launch of its mobile processor called Kepler. I keep wanting to say Kepler, but it's Kepler. K-E-P-L-E-R. Kepler. That's what the new mobile processor was called. And since that time, a number of laptops shipping the NVIDIA DGPUs compared to the AMD GPUs compared to have shifted more in NVIDIA's favor. You know, so most of the companies that were, you know, using chips, these graphical chips in their computers, seem to have shifted more to NVIDIA. And so not surprisingly, NVIDIA has also released a 20 nanometer NVIDIA chip. And it isn't launched. What they say? And they say it's launching with new architecture. Yeah, that's what they say. It's launching with new architecture. So people that like NVIDIA, you like the chips and processors that they come out with. They already rolling out the 710M processor and the GT730, and they're releasing the rest of the 700 line later this year. You know, I don't know exactly when, but a lot of you probably already familiar with Kepler. You know what I'm saying? Their mobile processor that has been tearing up storms. So we're going to see, starting on the software side of things, we don't have anything really right now that really is going to take advantage of it. But definitely, you know, definitely we're going to see applications coming out that's going to use this NVIDIA new powerhouse that they're coming out with. So for people that have been wondering when NVIDIA was going to step it up, when NVIDIA was going to come out with their next, you know, their next set of chips, their next set of processors, well, wait no further. Those processors are out. Well, not all of them, but some of them are out right now, and they are going to change the way we deal with graphics, because NVIDIA has always had top-of-the-line chips. NVIDIA has always had good graphics processors. And, you know, this new 700 series, they're saying is, you know, they're going to be using it in notebooks, you know, and stuff like that. Not just desktops like how, you know, a lot of things have been for. It's going to be, you know, in notebooks. And they saying that they want their chips to make up the mainstream segment, you see, which includes the 710, the 730, you have the 740, 45, 750, you know what I'm saying, 735, and the 720. All of these are the NVIDIA line chips that they have coming out. And the GPUs will allow you to alter the clock speed on the fly, you know what I'm saying, just for the sake of efficiency. And many of us know that clock speed is how fast the processor runs, like 1.6 gigahertz or 2 point something gigahertz, 3 gigahertz. That's the clock speed. You know, that's how long, that's how fast the processor can process. And for a lot of tech people, we're used to overclocking our processors. In other words, it's rated at this, but it can be overclocked to give you more performance. And NVIDIA is allowing these GPUs to be able to be adjust the clock speed on the fly. So you're going to be able to adjust this thing whenever you need to. You know you're running a process rather than allowing the computer, which is a lot of what happens now. That's what Turbo Boost technology is for Intel. Intel's Core i series, when you say it, they say with Turbo Boost technology. What that means is that when the processor feels it needs extra power to run a graphical application, the processor will automatically kick into Turbo Boost mode to give the processor that extra boost. NVIDIA is saying we want to put the power in your hands and give you the ability to change it on the fly. Then what do you think about that? NVIDIA's, I mean, you know, because in the past, you had to wait for the processor to kick in if it did it all.
That's
NVIDIA
right.
is saying we're going to give you, the developer, gamer, whatever,
We need
the
it. We
process.
need it. We need it.
We need something like that. And the ability, what do you think the ability to change your clock speed on the fly, what's that going to do for graphics manipulation and stuff like that? Is that going to make it faster or better or smoother, really?
Smoother, I think.
It's going to make it smoother, I think, because rather than having to wait for the processor to kick in, you know, because sometimes you're waiting, that circle spin, you're waiting for the processor to catch up or to kick in. You can just decide, okay, I'm going to run an application now that's going to be processor intensive. Let me just up the clock speed real quick. You don't have to wait for the computer to realize it needs more power, so let me kick in. You can do that. So with these new GPUs, so if you're looking for a computer later in the year, early next year, look for ones that have these NVIDIA chips that are using the new Intel processors that they're coming out with. So if you're getting Intel, you're going to get the NVIDIA graphics processor along with it. Now that doesn't mean that AMD is not going to come out with something good as well. But for right now, from what we're seeing with Intel and NVIDIA, this is some good stuff. So if you buy a PC and it has Intel, the new Intel, I forget the name that I said, Intel, what was that name? That Intel, the new Intel processor. Haswell.
Yeah, I couldn't think of
Yeah,
it.
so something like that. Yeah, the new Intel processor that's coming out. If you see that, then you know NVIDIA is a part of it. And Intel, you know, has been known for a long time for their chips and different things like that. And speaking of Intel, you know what I'm saying, we can't talk about Intel and not talk about one of its leading competitors, you know, and that is, it is Haswell. We can't talk about Intel and not talk about one of its leading competitors, AMD. AMD. So we're going to talk about our last story right here, which is, we're talking about one of its competitors, AMD, which is talking about Xbox. Now, a lot of you know that I'm a gamer, and Xbox has announced that they're having a announcement, you know, because, you know, PlayStation came out with their announcement February 20th, and now Xbox is saying they're coming out with their announcement on the 24th of May. So in the 21st of May. So May 21st, we're going to hear an announcement. And the reason why we're talking about the next generation chips is because AMD has been confirmed to be the chip inside the new Xbox. So Microsoft is using AMD as their flagship chip to run the new Xbox, which they are code naming Durango. We're saying that
Durango or Rango?
No, Durango, like the Dodge Durango. Yeah, Durango. They're saying that the Xbox is likely to be between $300 to $500, and they're saying that it's going to be a internet-based system. So if you don't have the internet, so it looks like no more buying the games and just playing them by yourselves. If you don't have internet, doesn't look like you'll be able to use this new Xbox that's coming out. So let me just show you a little bit about it, and we'll, yeah, this is the report right here that says that Microsoft, announces that they are going to, they're planning a May 21st Xbox announcement. So people who've been wanting to know about Xbox, you've been wondering what is happening. Is Microsoft coming out with a new Xbox? Is this really going to be something that's happening? Well, May 21st, just before E3, because that's the funny part. Microsoft is coming out just before E3, which happens in June, and Microsoft is going to come out and they're going to let us know what they're planning as far as the new Xbox is concerned. Looks like rumored to be always on. We don't know, but definitely it's going to be an internet-based system, so you won't be able to, it doesn't look like you're going to have that the same single player experience that you've been having, where you can play offline and just play by yourself and don't worry about anything. This Microsoft says their next Xbox, you're going to have an internet connection in order to use it. Now what that means, we don't know yet. We just have to wait and see what happens when May 21st rolls around. Well, we've reached the end of another Tech Pulse for the week. We're sorry we weren't able to get yesterday. Like we say, we came back from the Broward County Chamber of Commerce live streaming event, and we're going to be doing live events like this all over town. So if you see us, if you see Pulse E-Media and we're out there, give us a shout. Be like, oh, yo, Pulse E-Media, I seen Tech Pulse, man. Give us that shout out. We'll be happy, to talk with you, matter of fact, we're even, if you come up to us at Pulse E-Media, we will just give you a preview of what you could have as far as a commercial or some sort of, if you want a photo event or something like that. We'd be happy to show you, walk you through that, let you know what you can expect, even give you a little a shot. We take you back to our studio, give you a little green screen shot, show you what we're all about, because this is what we're about here at Pulse Media, helping the community to have the same tools that the mega millionaires have, because those people at NBC, those people at ABC, they have millions of dollars. The weather channel that you watch, green screen. They're not looking at anything. They're looking at a green screen. That is what the type of technology we have at Pulse Media, but we're giving you, the regular folk, the chance to come in. If you want to, you can rent time and say you want to make a DVD for a family member for their birthday because you want to pretend to be a weather girl or a weather person. We can make that happen for you. Come in, we dress you up like a weather person, and we put the weather right there. You could say, personalize it, make it funny. Make this something that's for your mom or for your aunt. And then not only will we do that, but we can also talk about streaming you live right there, or we can record it and you can watch it later on MyOccasionsLive1s.com, and you can show your family, hey, I was the weather channel for CBS Studio for a day, and we can put a little CBS or whatnot, something there and make it, make it a fun time, or if someone in your family has aspiration of being a weather person, treat them, buy them a one-day pass to our Pulse E-Media Studios, and we'll do the weather for them. They can have a CD to take home. We'll upload it to our site, give them a channel, and they can call their friends and say, hey, look, I was actually a weather person, and you can show them doing the weather just like you see them on NBC, ABC, CBS, those multi-million dollars. That's what we here at Pulse Media is all about, bringing big technology to the regular consumer. So whether you have a religious show you want to do, whether you have a commercial, whether you have some form of event, advertising, whatever it is that's dealing with streaming, television, internet, we're the people you want to deal with. Pulse E-Media and Tech Pulse is the flagship technology show right here at Pulse E-Media. You learn a lot. You're going to comprehend a lot of these things, and we want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you when we see you. That's what they said back in the day, see you when I see you. But in today's world right now in Tech Pulse, we're going to say that we thank you for watching. We thank you for being a part of us here, our programming. And we're going to see you next time, next Monday. We're going to come hot and heavy with some more techniques.